Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing today? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and I have to say, this is probably the most headline I have seen in a long time. JJ Abrams says Star Wars Rise of Skywalker strives to give a cohesive ending to all 9 films. What cohesive end? This is the problem with the sequel trilogy. What's the end game here? Like, the end game in Return of the Jedi made sense, right? Even with the prequels added on top of it, like, you can see the progression of Vader from being a boy to his death. We get it. It makes sense. The prophecy is complete, so on and so forth. But the sequel trilogy, I don't know. I don't know what they set up. I don't know what the mystery is. There's no, what's the end game here? Defeat the First Order? You kind of did that in the first movie, and then you had the galaxy's longest car chase after the fact that did nothing to set up the future outside of just putting Kylo in charge like 2 days later. It's just, it doesn't make, I don't know. He says here that they're not screwing around. All right, let's find out more. So he says here, endings are the thing that scare me the most, admits JJ Abrams. Yeah. Have you seen Lost? Have you seen Star Trek Into Darkness? Yeah, endings. No, when it comes to JJ Abrams, endings are not his best. He can set up a world. He can build a world. Finishing that world is very interesting. Look at Cloverfield, for example, right? I mean, I'm just saying there's not a lot of cohesiveness there. So, after all, there has never been a film tasked with wrapping up more stories that span a longer cinematic period than Skywalker. The film not only finishes Abrams Disney's produced trilogy that launched in 2015, but also George Lucas's 6 previous episode films that began in 1977. So that's 42 years of blockbuster sci-fi adventures, somehow concluding in one film. At this point, just end the First Order and like leave it ambiguous, and I think people will be okay. You know, we already had to deal with 2 years of this whole Luke Skywalker dead thing. Like, and Carrie Fisher actually being dead, and Han Solo being dead. I mean, and Peter Mayhew actually dying, even though he's kind of only half been involved. It's still like, you know, it's, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So he says here, this is about bringing a thing to a close in a way that is emotional and meaningful, and also satisfying in terms of actually answering as many questions as possible. So if years from now someone's watching these movies, all 9 of them, they're watching a story that is as cohesive as possible. But again, how? The Last Jedi absolutely derailed everything. Like, you need another movie to set something up in order to have a proper conclusion. Now, that said, Abrams noted in writing that in writing the film with Chris Terrio, the filmmaker left room for inspiration and the unexpected, saying while there were many things that were planned for and discussed, George Lucas himself said that when he created, he saw it as 3 3-act plays. That doesn't mean that there isn't a discovery. That doesn't mean that there aren't things that come up that make you go, oh, here's an opportunity. It adds Abram, who returned to the helm the final Skywalker Saga after completing 2015's The Force Awakens, saying it also doesn't mean that there's a list of payoffs that we have to do because of setups, but we also we're very much aware that this is the end of a trilogy and it needs to satisfy. We went into this thing knowing there has to be an ending. We're not screwing around. Like, with where The Last Jedi ended, you know, again, no real like cliffhanger. You know, Attack of the Clones had Palpatine taking over control of the clone army, right? You hear the Imperial March for the first time. You know what's coming. The Empire Strikes Back ends. Han Solo's frozen in carbonite, sent off to Jabba. Lando and Chewie head off trying to rescue him. Luke is injured with Leia. He's going to get better. And then that's the plan, to go rescue Han, right? That's where it's going to go. So you know, with the third movie, that's what they're going to go do. Here, what are they doing? There was no cliffhanger ending. Oh, a little boy with a broom. Okay, anyone can be a Jedi. Oh, okay, like, fine, cool. That, I'm okay with that. But that's not a big thing. Is this kid going to be in the next movie? Like, is this kid part of the story? Like, what's going on here? Like, there was nothing there at the end that made you go, I have to know more. It was just like it ended and you're like, oh, what did I just watch? Anyway, so going on. If Skywalker didn't have enough to handle in its narrative galaxy, the film also is bringing back Billy Dee for the first time since 1983's Return of the Jedi, the late Carrie Fisher's beloved Leia Organa, by using previously unseen footage from Force Awakens, and Ian McDiarmid's sinister Emperor Palpatine. I mean, I kind of wish they would have kept the Emperor like on its own, you know? Plus, there's new characters like Kerry Russell's Zori Bliss and Naomi Aki's bow and arrow wielding Janna, while also taking time to answer the current trilogy's biggest burning questions. And I don't know, here's the thing. I'm a Star Wars apologist. I've admitted this. You guys know I like the franchise still. Those of you out there who don't like Disney Star Wars, we disagree on that. I still like it. But even I can't tell you what are the burning questions. Who was Snoke? Does it even matter now? He's dead, right? Who are the Knights of Ren? I think we're going to find out. We've already seen pictures of them in costume, and they're never going to take off their helmets, apparently. So that's going to be a thing, and they're going to be like, that's what they're going to be doing. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like there are some questions maybe like, what does Rose Tico matter? Man, we'll find that out. And I think it's just, I don't know how it's going to be satisfying. I want it to be satisfying. I don't know how much play Mark Hamill's going to have in it. I don't know if they're going to like sit there and go like, oh, Luke's dead. And then he's gonna be like, psych, I'm alive. Did you see my arm fall off? No, but the robe fell, but my arm didn't. I'm good. So it's just, I don't know what they're going to do. Rian Johnson so fundamentally hurt the 3-act narrative of this. I cannot begin. Like, look, here's the thing. You can like The Last Jedi, and that's fine. But when you look at it as part of a larger piece of a puzzle, as a piece of a much larger puzzle, where does it fit? Especially when it's like the penultimate episode of this 42-year saga. Where does it fit? What does it establish? What did it wrap up? We got no closure over Han's death. That was left for the book, right? That was left for the book. We got no scene with Luke and Leia, talking to one another. Really, it was just him showing up, winking, giving her some very quick vanishing dice, and then he's gone, and that was their reunion. I mean, even Mark Hamill said that like there was nothing in there about him acknowledging C-3PO, and that was something that he went to Johnson about because Johnson wasn't thinking about that. Whereas I think JJ Abrams would have been at least thinking about trying to say goodbye to these characters in that particular fashion. Right? Because like fan service has to still be maintained. I don't care what you want to say about the narrative structure. Fan service in a trilogy has to be maintained because this is what fans are coming back for. Anything post the original is a fan service, right? And that's what's going on here. Anyway, I have no idea how this thing's going to end. I have no idea what they're going to do. I just want it to be satisfying. I don't know what these questions are. And every time I think about The Last Jedi and I start getting worked up over The Last Jedi, it just angers me. Because it was so poorly done. It was so poorly put together. It was so poorly executed that now fans are like sitting there going like, what are they even going to do? And that's like undue stress on the fan base, which is one of the reasons why it's fractured. Like no one has hurt Star Wars greater than Rian Johnson. And I think that's just abundantly, fundamentally clear. You may not like what JJ did. He at least tried. Right? He at least tried. What the hell did Johnson do? Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions on this. Do you think it's going to have a cohesive ending? I want to hear your honest thoughts. Let me know down in the comments below. Please like the video, thumbs it up, all that jazz, and I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.